All right, folks, what I have for you guys is the Hollywood Destination e-bike rack, $699, and it is designed for e-bikes up to 70 pounds, and the rack itself is not so heavy, about 46 pounds. So that's kind of where it speaks to you. You know, it's not too expensive, it can handle heavy bikes, and it's not too heavy. I'm going to show you pictures of how it attaches to the hitch, and really just slam it into the hitch. There's a spacer right there. It has to be a 2-inch hitch, and then you got a big through bolt and a lock right there. And one of the keys that they have, and these I find in very expensive racks, is this is called a cam system. And what a cam system does is it takes the wobble out of your rack. So this is their system right here. It is not too bad because it is built in, tool free, and a little trick is you wobble it while you're turning it. And one of the weaknesses is you can't like point it down because you might just break it off, you know, when you go down a curb. And then it kind of sticks out like that. Not the prettiest, but it certainly works, gets the wobble out. Okay, so that's how it is folded, and it's not too close to the vehicle because the rack curves down like this. So that's something unique about this rack, and we'll talk about that. All right, to fold it down, there's a big locking pin right here that is locked by a spring. And so I take it off, fold it down, very easy to do, and then you lock it again with the same pin. And this part is not completely centered, so I have to wobble it. And this vertical stabilizer bar is right here. So there's these safeties. Even though there's a cam mechanism, they don't trust their mechanism, obviously, because it's a very critical part. And then once it's up, you see how it just wobbles. Then you lock it with a cam. Locks it in place. There's guides in it. And then the safety, it's up to you, is, you know, just as a precaution. So you can put these straps on so there's no way the cam is going to fail on you. Not the prettiest, and it is rubber, but there it is. So there you go. And now you can kind of see the layout of this rack. It has these really long straps, 3 per tray. These hold the wheels right there. And this is just a guide, so when you're rolling it through, it doesn't fall off. So, and what's very unique about the rack is that it curves down. There's a big company, Thule Easy Pro XT, $850, that has the exact same style. So it's a proven design from Sweden. Same thing, frame hold, but this one is a lot cheaper, $699, and it can handle quite a bit heavier bike, 70 pounds as opposed to that one, which is only like 55 pounds. So I'm going to start with a very difficult bike, and they do, for that price, give you a ramp. One of the best ramps I've seen, because it's just the right size, maybe because the arms are already sloping down, and there's just one hole you need to align, and you're in. This can handle a wheelbase of up to 50 inches and tires up to 4.5. So not so critical on the tire size. So the pedal, it's a little bit of a real estate management. You have to make sure your pedals are out of the way of this vertical rack. So right there, I'm onto something, right? And the first thing I need to do is find the location where I'm gonna hold it. And where I'm gonna hold it is with the seat post right here. It should be the right opening. So it's a little bit of figuring out. But the good news is once you do this once and you just keep the arms in place, then you don't have to keep figuring it out. Now, if you're transporting other bikes, your friends want to ride or something, yeah, then you have to figure out where the proper clamping location is. We just need to lock down the tires. So the straps are very long, and one of the realities of this kind of system, they just kind of hang down. Not the cleanest, but they're there so you can just pull it. All right, bike number 2. This is like a 60-pound bike. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my special technique on how to get a heavy bike onto a ramp like this. And what you do is, it's called the backup technique. You back it up while holding the rear brake. And what that does is it lifts the front tire. All right? And now that the front tire's lift is on the ramp, then you only got to do the rear tire. So your 60-pound bike became like 30-30. Not bad, huh? All right, so there it is. And a little bit of collision with that seat. I could lower that seat for the future, but that's not too bad. And now the magic of Disney right here is this clamp. Oh, so best not to move the clamp so it's perfect position. But hey, it got moved. And we are going to clamp it on the top tube. All right. Do. And then boom, we are in, and that gives it the stability. And in my testing, we're gonna do speed bumps. So pros and cons. The big pro is the combination. You know, the fact that it weighs 46 pounds, it can carry 70 pounds, and it's only $699 with a ramp. It's a pretty good combo. So that's its number one. You know, up to 50-inch wheelbase, 4-inch tires. So a lot of versatility, especially if you have like a bike like this with fenders, an odd frame. You know, the classic racks that I use, the very expensive ones, hold it by the wheel. But when the wheels are all different sizes, fat bikes and fenders, it becomes very difficult. So a lot of commuters, e-bikers would be happy with something like this. Another pro is the quality is surprisingly pretty good. You know, Hollywood, I've never had a Hollywood rack in 25 years of biking because it just seemed too consumer level for me, and I'm really like, you know, taking up to the mountains and rough roads. So that you know, the machining, the metal work, you know, the straps and whatnot, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not premium first rate $1,000 type, but it's quite okay. Third pro is it comes with a ramp. It's one of the best I've seen. You know, not only is it free, it's always $100 from other companies, some 200. This one is just the right width, and it collapses into a very small size. So that is good. Another pro is it really has one of the best systems for rolling your bike on. The wheel hold racks, difficult to roll your bike on because the wheel holders are in the way. You have to put them on the ground first before you can actually roll it up. So, you know, if you have an 80-pound bike, well, if you have a 70-pound bike, you have a little older, you really need a ramp, consider something like this. All right. Now, another pro is it comes with a lot of straps. So they give you this, and this just wraps around the whole system to your horizontal bar in case something goes wrong. There's a Velcro here that you wrap around your bike holder in case something goes wrong. So a lot of kind of redundancy in the system. Okay, now let's go to the cons. The con side is it's a little bit cumbersome to put on and off. I'm used to wheel hold racks. You just go click, click, boom, boom. quick release buttons, and then you're good to go. And I'll show you some examples. I have a shootout right here of 5 different racks, so you'll see what I'm talking about. So this is not the easiest to put on and off, but you do get into a system. You know, if you don't carry a lot of different bikes, you just have decent permanent spots, then it would be pretty good. The other con is it's not easy on the ice. You know, a lot of you guys in my category, enthusiast category, you just leave the rack on forever, you know, for 5 years. So that's why 1UP is so popular. The new Kuats and Thules are popular because they just blend in well with the rack. They're very low profile, and they look good on the car, and you never have to take them off. Another con would be a lot of non-metal parts. So a lot of plastic, a lot of rubber, and you know, like the other racks I mentioned, you know, 5 years later, those racks still look the same because they're all metal. Any kind of plastic or rubber, it kind of degrades with sun and weather. So this is more ideal for this seasonal rider. You know, you going on vacation, you put it on the car, and then winter's coming, you store it for like 3-4 months, so you don't leave it on the car. So that's the ideal use case. And the other thing is, those other racks are like 100 pounds. This is only 46. So this is more conducive to you taking it off and on the car. Now, another con would be, you know, like I said, the safeties. This thing and this Velcro, there's more stuff to do. You know, all the other racks I have, they have no safeties. They're just designed well from the get-go. So I think that's the level of standard on the premium racks, that you don't expect anything to go wrong. You don't need to strap it. If you're kind of that personality, then you buy your own straps, you know, in case everything fails. But these things, I'm not gonna put them on. Maybe if it's a really long trip, but it's a con because it's like a different mindset of thinking. You know, the design is not robust enough that you don't need a rubber guide or rubber strap. So that situation. All right, and the last con I would say is, you know, this kind of rack, there's a lot of collision between the bikes, and there's not a lot of adjustability. So this touches this, you know, sometimes this will touch the other, you know, unless you have dropper posts and whatnot, the pedals touch each other. So you do need a lot of movement like that for when you mount it. This one doesn't really have a lot of that movement. They want to be in fixed positions. So there you go. Hollywood destination e-bike rack. You know, it is like I said, you know, it's not $1,000 rack, but for a lot of you guys who just spent $1,500 on each e-bike, you know, this might be exactly what you're looking for. So links in the description, and my channel will get a little bit of commission if you buy through our links. Again, E-MTB review, we have a ton of e-bike reviews and bike rack reviews. Thanks a ton. We'll close off this video by showing you some running video on some speed bumps, and then we'll take the bikes off, show you that process, and then show you the tilting mechanism of this rack. So here it is, slow speed with diagonal speed bumps. This is one of the hardest tests for a fully loaded rack because it puts sideways torque on the rack with all the weight of those bikes. And here we go, fairly high speed on speed bumps, and this is a high speed one. Just slow down and you could see the movement of the car and the bike rack, and right there. And this is about, I would say, 130 pounds of bikes, and this is a fairly high speed tackling of speed bumps. So I'm gonna put a lot of sideways torque on that rack, and it's fairly stable. And then now I'll show you how to take the bikes off. Just the reverse of mounting the bikes, just a little bit faster. Of course, not a lot of collision space management to deal with, so just remove the straps and then unwind that frame lock, and then put that bar out of the way, and now the bike is free. The first bike you really need to it's better to lift it off. But one can use a ramp as well. And then here we're going to show you how to use the ramp. Put the ramp on first, do the straps, and then free the bike, and then roll it down. Make sure to clear the pedals on that vertical bar. Hold that front brake so you can modulate the speed of a heavy bike going down the ramp. And finally, it'll show you the tilting mechanism. Little knob, and there it is. And you could do it without the bikes or with the bikes. A little heavy with the bikes because it tilts down quite far.